I want to tell you a story today. It is a story about listening. Not just any listening, but listening to English. Many people think English is too fast. They feel lost. They feel tired. But I learned something important. I learned that the problem is not in our ears. The problem is in our mind. Let me start from the beginning. When I was young, I studied English in school. My teacher spoke very slowly. Every word was clear. Every sentence was perfect. I could understand everything. I was happy. I thought I was good at English. But then something happened. I watched an American movie. I could not understand anything. The actors spoke so fast. The words mixed together. I felt confused. I thought maybe my English was bad. Maybe I needed to study more. But that was not the true problem. Years passed. I kept studying. I learned more words. I learned more grammar. But movies were still difficult. Real conversations were still difficult. Then, I met an old teacher. She was a professional interpreter. She worked at big international meetings. She listened to fast speakers every day. And she understood everything. I asked her the secret. She smiled and told me something that changed my life forever. She said listening is not about ears. Listening is about the brain. She said our brain is like a smart machine. It can predict things. It can fill in missing pieces. But we need to train it correctly. Most people train their ears. They try to hear every small sound. But this is wrong. We must train our brain to see patterns. We must train our brain to expect what comes next. I did not understand at first. So she gave me an example. She said, imagine you are standing under a waterfall. Water is falling very fast. If you try to catch every single drop of water with your hands, you will fail. You will get wet. You will get tired. You will catch nothing. But what if you bring a big bucket? You do not catch every drop. You catch groups of water. This is easier. This is smarter. Listening to English is the same. We must catch groups of words, not single words. This idea was new to me. In school, we learned word by word. We translated word by word. The teacher said one word. We wrote it down. The teacher said another word. We wrote it down. This habit was deep in my mind. But this habit was wrong for listening. When we listen word by word, our brain works too hard. It cannot keep up with the speed. Let me give you a real example. Imagine someone says this sentence. The little boy with the yellow shirt is running to his mother. If you listen word by word, your brain does this. First, it hears the pockets. It thinks about the says. Then, it hears little. It thinks about little. Then, it hears boy. It tries to remember the one, little, and boy together. Then, it hears with. Now it must remember 4 words. Then, the Morchakas, yellow, shirt. Now 7 words. By the time the person says running, your brain forgot the beginning. You feel lost. But there is a better way. We can listen in chunks. Chunks are groups of words that belong together. In that same sentence, there are only two big chunks. Chunk 1 is the little boy with the yellow shirt. This whole group tells us who. Chunk 2 is running to his mother. This whole group tells us what and where. 2 chunks. Not 10 separate words. 2 ideas. This is so much easier for your brain. When I learned this, I started practicing. But the old teacher told me something important. She said, you cannot practice chunks by listening first. You must practice chunks by reading first. This surprised me. I thought we were talking about listening. Why reading? She explained it very clearly. She said reading is slower than listening. When you read, you control the speed. You can stop, you can think, you can go back. So reading is the perfect place to learn chunks. She told me to take any simple text. It could be a news article, it could be a story, it could be anything. But it must be in English. Then I should read it in a special way. Read one meaningful group. Stop. Understand that group. Then read the next group. Stop. Understand that group. Do not translate into my language. Just understand the meaning in English. Do this every day. After some weeks, my brain will start seeing chunks automatically. I tried this method. At first, it was difficult. My habit was to read word by word. But I forced myself to read in groups. I read one news article every morning. Slowly, something changed. I started to see the chunks naturally. I did not need to think about it. My eyes moved from chunk to chunk automatically. And then, something amazing happened. When I listened to English, I could hear chunks too. The fast river of words became clear groups of meaning. I could understand much better. But this was only the first lesson. The old teacher had more to teach me. The second lesson was about music. She asked me if I play any musical instrument. I said no. She said, that is okay. Every language is like music. Every language has rhythm. Some languages are flat like a drum. Each beat is the same. But English is different. English is like a song. Some parts are loud. Some parts are quiet. Some parts are long. Some parts are short. She gave me an example with the word banana. In some languages, people say ba-na-na. 3 equal beats. But in English, we say ba-na-na. The middle sound is strong. The first and last sounds are weak. This is the rhythm of English. Now imagine this rhythm in a full sentence. Some words are strong. They carry the important meaning. Other words are weak. They almost disappear. Native speakers do this naturally. They stress the important words. They reduce the small words. I started to notice this everywhere. When I watched movies, I heard it. When I listened to songs, I heard it. The rhythm was always there. But I never noticed it before. Now I understood why I could not hear some words. Those words were reduced. They were said very fast and very quiet. My ears could not catch them. But here is the interesting part. Native speakers also do not hear every word. Their brain fills in the missing words automatically. The old teacher explained this with grammar, but she said do not think of grammar as boring rules. Think of grammar as a map. When you know the map of English, you know what comes next. You know what is possible and what is impossible. For example, after the word I, you expect a verb. After the word very, you expect an adjective. Your brain knows these patterns. So even if you do not hear a word clearly, your brain can guess it. She gave me a real example. Native speakers often say, "Wanna go?" This is very fast. The full sentence is, "Do you want to go?" But they reduce it. They cut it. They make it shorter. If you do not know the map, you will be confused. You will think wanna is a strange word. But if you know the map, your brain automatically fills it in. Your brain says, "Oh, this is, do you want to go?" And you understand perfectly. This was a powerful idea for me. I realized I needed to learn the basic structure of English, not complicated grammar, just the simple patterns. Subject, verb, object, question words at the beginning, prepositions before nouns. These basic patterns are like the skeleton of the language. When you know the skeleton, you can understand the whole body, even if some small parts are missing. I started paying attention to patterns. When I read, I noticed the structure. When I listened, I tried to predict what comes next. At first, I was often wrong. But slowly, I got better. My brain started to learn the map. And then listening became easier. I did not need to hear every single sound. My brain could fill in the gaps. But there was still one more problem. This was the third lesson from the old teacher. She asked me what kind of English I studied in school. I said we studied British English. We learned proper pronunciation. We learned formal grammar. She nodded. She said, "This is good. But this is not enough." In the real world, English has many faces. People speak differently in America. People speak differently in Australia. People speak differently in India. Young people speak differently from old people. Movie characters speak differently from news reporters. She told me that in school, we learn ideal English. Every word is pronounced clearly. Every sentence is complete. But in real life, people cut words. They connect words. They change sounds. For example, the phrase want to becomes wanna. The phrase going to becomes gonna. The phrase got to becomes gotta. These are not mistakes. This is natural spoken English. But if you only expect perfect textbook English, you will be lost. The solution is simple, but takes time. You must listen to many different kinds of English. Not just one accent. Not just one style. Listen to American movies. Listen to British podcasts. Listen to Australian news. Listen to Indian speakers. Listen to young people on social media. Listen to old people in interviews. Listen to everything. Your brain is very smart. It will start to notice the patterns. It will learn that English has many voices but one core structure. I followed this advice. I started listening widely. At first, it was confusing. American English sounded different from British English. Australian English had unique words. Indian English had a different melody. But after some months, something clicked. I realized they are all the same language. The core is the same. Only the surface is different. My brain adapted. It learned to understand all of them. Now let me tell you the big secret. This is what the old teacher told me at the end. She said the secret to understanding fast English is not in your ears. The secret is in your brain. When you listen, you are not a passive receiver. You are an active participant. Your brain is constantly working. It is grouping words into chunks. It is following the rhythm. It is predicting what comes next. It is filling in missing sounds. All of this happens in milliseconds. You do not even notice it. When your brain is trained well, something magical happens. Fast English starts to feel slow, not because the speaker slows down, but because your brain speeds up. Your brain processes information faster, and when you process faster, everything feels slower. Think about driving a car. When you first learn, everything feels fast and scary. But after years of practice, the same speed feels comfortable and slow. Your brain adapted. Listening is the same. So the real question is not how to make English slow. The real question is how to make your brain fast. And now, you know the answer. First, learn to read in chunks. This trains your brain to see groups of meaning. Second, learn the basic map of English. This helps your brain predict and fill in gaps. Third, listen to many different types of English. This makes your brain flexible and adaptable. I practiced these 3 things for 6 months. The change was incredible. Movies became easy. Conversations became natural. Podcasts became enjoyable. I was not struggling anymore. I was not translating in my head. I was just understanding. The fast river of English became a calm stream. I could relax and simply listen. Let me share some practical tips with you. For chunk reading, start with simple materials. Children's books are perfect. News articles are good too. Read one sentence. Divide it into chunks. Understand each chunk. Then move to the next sentence. Do this for 15 minutes every day. Your brain will start to change. For learning the map, you do not need to study thick grammar books. Just pay attention to patterns. When you read or listen, notice how sentences are built. Notice where verbs go. Notice where objects go. Notice how questions are formed. Your brain will absorb these patterns naturally if you pay attention. For wide listening, use the internet. There are so many resources. YouTube has videos from every country. Podcasts cover every topic. Movies show every accent. Spend 30 minutes every day listening to different sources. One day, watch an American show. Next day, listen to a British podcast. Next day, watch an Australian documentary. Your brain will become a master at understanding all types of English. One more important thing. Do not be afraid of not understanding everything. This is normal. Even native speakers do not catch every single word in a conversation. They use context, they use prediction, they use the map in their brain. You can do the same. If you miss one word, do not panic. Keep listening. The next sentence will give you more information. Your brain will figure it out. I also learned that listening is not just about language. It is about confidence. When you panic, your brain shuts down. When you relax, your brain opens up. So trust yourself. Trust your brain. It is more powerful than you think. It can learn patterns. It can make predictions. It can understand even when information is incomplete. The old teacher told me one last thing before we said goodbye. She said language learning is a journey. It is not a race. Some days you will feel great. Some days you will feel stuck. This is normal. The important thing is to keep going. Keep reading in chunks. Keep learning patterns. Keep listening widely. Small progress every day leads to big results over time. I think about her words often. She was right. Learning to listen is not about magic tricks. It is not about secret techniques. It is about understanding how your brain works. It is about training your brain in the right way. And most importantly, it is about patience and practice. Today, I can watch any movie without subtitles. I can listen to any podcast. I can have conversations with people from different countries. English does not sound fast anymore. It sounds normal. It sounds clear. Sometimes, I even think in English. This happened because I changed how I listen. I stopped trying to catch every raindrop. I started seeing the bigger picture. If you are struggling with listening, remember this story. Remember that the problem is not your ears. The problem is how you use your brain. Train your brain with chunks. Give your brain a map. Expose your brain to different voices. Do these 3 things consistently. Be patient with yourself. And one day, you will have the same experience I had. The rushing river will become a calm stream. Understanding will become natural. And you will finally be free to just enjoy English without stress or fear. This is my story. This is what I learned from the old interpreter. I hope it helps you on your journey. Remember, your brain is powerful. Trust it, train it, and it will take you where you want to go. The secret was always inside you. You just needed to know how to unlock it.